Greetings, everyone, and welcome to part 3 of a closer look at my Voltron DVD collection, the epic conclusion, in which we take a look at the DVD releases of the original, uncut, uncensored Japanese shows that Voltron was adapted from, namely Beast King GoLion and Armored Fleet DieRugger 15. Today, on a closer look on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Boy, oh boy, can you ever tell what a difference there is in cultures when you look at the original Japanese versions of these shows versus the Americanized versions. The Americanized versions, to say the least, are not just re-edited and reworked to incorporate the two disparate shows together into one unified continuity, but they're also heavily censored. And to say they're heavily censored is such an understatement, because when you go back and watch these original shows and see just how brutal the violence is, I mean, it is really, really brutal and, like, genuinely disturbing in parts. The target audience for these in Japan was, like, around 12 years old, was kind of the goal there. And this type of stuff was not untypical for 12-year-old focused animated shows. But, I mean, you watch it now, I mean, and compare it, especially comparing it to Voltron, it's just a night and day difference. I mean, right from episode 1 of GoLion, the violence is so brutal and so severe. For example, in Voltron, all of the minions of King Zarkon were said to be robots. So they could safely kill them or destroy them because it didn't matter. They were robots. Yeah, they weren't robots. What they did in Voltron was they cut out all the parts where you see them getting impaled and huge fountains of blood shooting out of their chests and eyeballs popping out of their heads and limbs being ripped off and bodies being shredded in half and their guts hanging out. You see all that in GoLion, like right from episode 1, where the space explorers are captured and they see what's going on in the gladiator arena while the king is like testing out who's going to be his new big champion and stuff. The sort of star monsters in that, wiping out all of the contenders, is so brutal. Like, I mean, just the violence is over the top. And there were so many episodes where they would have the alien soldiers or freaking alien ninjas come down to the planet and terrorize a village. And you would see women and children being just brutally murdered. And I remember the Geeky Boys and I actually did a full group viewing of GoLion and DieRugger during the 30th, or I guess the 35th anniversary of Voltron a few years back. And it was unbelievable. Like, we were just constantly stunned by the level of violence and bloodshed. But the thing is, what makes it so good is the fact that it doesn't shy away from the violence and bloodshed, and it makes those moments that much more impactful. Like, the fact that it doesn't pull any punches and it's just so in your face with all the violence, it really shows just how evil these aliens are and why they need to be stopped. It really raises the stakes of the whole situation, you know, and it puts the heroes and the people they're protecting in such genuine peril that it really just makes what they're trying to do, and the fact they're trying to save these people on this planet, that much more imperative, and gives it that sense of urgency and of desperation where they're really dealing with a formidable force here. So that's GoLion. And DieRugger, No different. I mean, it's the violence isn't quite as over the top in DieRugger, but it's definitely more severe. When we get the closer look, when you see the pictures that they've chosen for the artwork, obviously they deliberately chose pictures of some of the bloodier moments to really drive home the point that this ain't your daddy's Voltron. This is a lot different. Same thing again. I mean, I mentioned previously when I was talking about Vehicle Force Voltron that I always kind of preferred the story in that one because I felt it was a little bit more, I don't know, had a little bit more depth to it. Seeing DieRugger and how it plays out, even more so. It is such a good story, and you get so invested in the characters. And not just the hero characters, the villain characters as well are multi-layered, and there's certain villains that feel that the war with Earth is pointless and they have to put a stop to the bloodshed, but then there's other factions within the aliens that are trying to put a stop to those people, and they have a lot of infighting between them, a lot of conflict of interest between them. And every time, you know, these good aliens try to sue for peace, the bad aliens get in the way in some way, and it's just, there's so much push and pull back and forth just on the bad guys' side. And then on top of that, you've got this huge cast of 15 main characters on the hero's side, plus all the politics and such going on Earth. And it's just wonderfully complex and dramatic and dark and violent. And yeah, I mean, when we were watching DieRugger, I was yelling at the screen so many times. You know you're invested in a story and characters when you start screaming at the screen. It's like, oh my god, that jerk, how could he do that? And it's great. I cannot recommend these highly enough. I mean, if you've only ever seen the American version of Voltron, you really owe it to yourself to check these versions out. Now, these are only subtitled. They've never had an English dub or anything like that, so hopefully that won't put you off, because it's, I know some people just can't do subtitles for whatever reason. It just doesn't work for them. They prefer the dubs. So, sorry, no dub on this one, but you know, a very good translation of the subtitles. And it's really fascinating to see the differences in how the story unfolds in the original shows versus Voltron, but also just the overall vibe of them is very different. Like, both of these shows have a very dark, dangerous vibe to them, that these aliens are a genuine threat, and they are really dangerous and absolutely need to be stopped. So yeah, fantastic. So let's not waste any more time. Let's head on down to the Black Void, and we'll check out the original Japanese versions of Beast King GoLion and Armored Fleet DieRugger 15. Okay, here we go. This ain't your daddy's Voltron. So here we have Collection 1 of Beast King GoLion. Yeah, you guys may recall, for the 30th anniversary of Voltron, I had a group viewing of all of Beast King GoLion and all of Armored Fleet DieRugger 15. We watched all 52 episodes of both of them back to back. It was awesome. It was epic. I had never seen the... Really? Wow. Holy moly, that is really tight. Alright, so there we go. So we get a nice rainbow of the lions going off into space. Great stuff. But yeah, if you've only ever seen Voltron, then you're missing out, man. GoLion was pretty intense, like, to say the least. In watching it, we were all just kind of stunned by, well, I mean, in particular, just how incredibly violent it is. Like, really violent. And just like, how were they ever able to take this and tone it down to make it suitable for 7-year-olds? You know, it just boggled our brains. But boy, I gotta say, like, honestly, while as much as I love Voltron and I love the sound design of Voltron and everything, in terms of the story and the tone, GoLion wins by a pretty wide margin. I think this is just the same artwork underneath, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, it's all the same. So, But this was a pretty big deal when it came out because we had never seen the original uncut Japanese versions. We'd only seen Voltron over here. So to be able to finally see the original version as it appeared in Japan was not only a treat, but honestly kind of shocking. Because we all knew that it was based on a Japanese show, well, two Japanese shows, but had no idea just what a huge difference there is between them. I mean, when you go and watch Robotech, for example, and then go and watch the original Macross series, there are some differences. I mean, there's a little bit of nudity and stuff that was cut out, obviously, for the TV version, and some of the violence, but it was nothing on this scale. And that goes for both of these. So here we have Armored Fleet DieRugger 15. This set, I think, much like the Vehicle Voltron set, I'm guessing got a way lower print run. I almost wasn't even able to get these, and it was driving me crazy because I really wanted to complete the Voltron collection properly. And I had been watching some of these online and really wanted to see them. Well, they didn't even bother to put any artwork in the cases here. This is how little they care about Vehicle Voltron, man. But yeah, I lucked out in that Right Stuff International got a bunch of these sets in stock, like long after they'd gone out of print, and were selling them just for regular price. So one of my viewers, Lauren Miller, actually messaged me and said, "Hey, Sean, I don't know if you're aware, but Right Stuff International has all the DieRugger sets up right now for like, $20-$30 each. Go get them." So I ran off to Right Stuff International and I ordered all three of them. And no sooner did I do that and tell some other people that, wow, these hubs are just annihilated. Holy crap. Like, there's a lot of damage here. I should probably get new cases for these. Jeez. Wow, look at that. Like, all scratched up and shit. Holy Moses. Okay. Yeah, definitely got to get new cases for these. I didn't realize they were that in such rough shape. Wow. Okay. Well, we're just going to carefully close. I mean, there's not even any insert booklets or anything for these. It's basically just the discs, and that's it. And then there. I mean, like, look at this. Like, there's no way this scene is anywhere in Vehicle Voltron. I mean, poor guy has, like, how many daggers jabbed into him, blood pouring out all over the place, just trying to hold his intestines together. And that is something you would not have seen on TV, on a children's cartoon in the 80s. And they show, actually, on all the pictures on the back, as I'm sure you've noticed, kind of showcase a lot of the more violent scenes. And, it makes it look like it's just nonstop explosions and death and carnage. But honestly, that's not far from the truth. Like, there's a lot of stuff in these that you would never see on television back then. I mean, nowadays with Netflix and such, they can show a lot more. But back then, you had TV, and that was it. And, there you go. So there's the entire GoLion set. And we got Sven's twin brother. There's no alteration of the plot here. Everything is as it originally was. Prince Sinkline, who, of course, you may know as Prince Lotor, is way creepier in this. In Voltron, he's basically just kind of a jerk. But in this, like, he's like, honestly, kind of rapey, like, in his attitudes towards the princess and stuff, and it makes you feel uncomfortable in a lot of ways. Like, he's a very slimy, sleazy, conniving character and stuff like that. But boy, what a difference it makes when you go back and watch the originals. I mean, it is, you'll never look at Voltron the same way again. One of the things we were doing, like, as we were doing our group viewings, was we would kind of go and look and see what, here, I guess we'll do it like this. We would, watch a particularly violent episode of GoLion or DieRugger, and then we would go and look up the corresponding Voltron episode just to see how they toned it down. And sometimes we would just be scratching our heads like, how could they possibly tone this down? Like, I remember there was one episode of GoLion where the king had hired this group of basically ninja assassins, and they were just going through the forest and the town, and just brutally killing everybody. Like, just brutally killing everybody. And we were like, wow, how are they ever going to tone this down for kids? So we found the corresponding Voltron episode, and yeah, well, it wasn't ninja assassins going around brutally killing everybody. No, they cut out all of the scenes of death and dismemberment and disembowelments. And basically, they were a group of witches that were going around the village scaring everybody. Yeah. Plays out a little differently in the original. Anyway, if you get the opportunity to check these out, if all you've ever seen is the original Voltron, you absolutely owe it to yourself to check these out. It is absolutely spectacular to see them in their original form, and I will never look at Voltron the same way again. In terms of story and intensity, I mean, I didn't realize, like, just how emotionally intense and powerful these two shows were originally. I mean, it's really amazing when you see them in their original unaltered form, just how vastly different they actually are from what you're maybe familiar with. So, you know, if you're all grown up now and, you know, want something with a little more bite to it than maybe the old Voltron you grew up with, I give you GoLion and DieRugger. Enjoy. And there you have it. So that wraps up our look at the complete Voltron DVD library. Now, sadly, these sets had an even lower print run than the Voltron ones, so good luck finding them now. You can actually find a good chunk of episodes of them online. World Events Productions has a YouTube page where they've got, I don't know, the first 10 or so episodes of both of them available to watch on their YouTube channel for free, which is kind of cool. They used to have the entire series of, I think, both of them, but or at least of I think of GoLion, they had the entire series out there, but they since took those down or set them to private, so you can't watch them, unfortunately. But I don't know what to tell you. It's hard to find them in this day and age, which is why I'm really happy to have the DVDs. But if you're looking for them, just hunt around. I mean, they got to be out there somewhere. I mean, with DieRugger, I actually got really lucky with DieRugger because I had, I think, the first set or no, I was looking for them. I wanted to get them to have as a companion to GoLion and also to complete the collection. But they're all out of print. And the first couple sets had pretty decent print runs. You could find them fairly cheap. But the third set, I guess, had a much lower print run and was going for just stupid money. And then Right Stuff International got a handful of them in stock and was offering them for regular price, like the original sticker price. So one of my viewers, I think it was Lauren Miller, messaged me and said that... hey, Sean, I don't know if you're aware, but Right Stuff just got a whole bunch of DieRugger in stock. If you want it, go and grab it quick. So I did, and I managed to grab it. It was out. It was gone by like the next day. So I just happened to have money on me at the time that I could spare, and snagged them during that brief window when they had them. And thank goodness, I was so overjoyed. It was just a total stroke of luck there, because I had been looking for them for a while by that point, and I just wasn't having any luck. I mean, anytime I would find them, they would be just so ridiculously expensive. There's no way I was gonna shell out $200 for a single DVD set of something, no matter how much I wanted it. But yeah, so definitely got lucky there. So maybe you'll get lucky too. Keep an eye out. Watch, keep an eye out on eBay. Watch those third-party sellers on Amazon, because these are so damn good. Like, I cannot recommend these highly enough, especially if you were a fan of the original Voltron Americanized version growing up. You definitely owe it to yourself to check out the originals at least once in your life. Alrighty, folks, that is it for the Voltronathon on A Closer Look. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. So big thanks to you for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. I'll see you next time. Until then, sayonara.